Here's a big question. Can you actually read the Bible without believing? It's something a lot of people wonder. So for this explainer, we're going to try something. Let's just set the whole faith question aside for a minute and look at the Bible as something else, a foundational piece of literature, a historical record, a philosophical text. Because a lot of people try to read it as just a book. But here's the thing. It's really, really hard to walk away from it completely untouched. And that raises a pretty big question about its power, doesn't it?
And that's the challenge we're throwing down right at the start. Because look, it doesn't matter if you're a skeptic, a believer, or somewhere in between. When you open its pages, they are just alive. They're packed with stories, with these huge moral dilemmas, and poetry that gets right in there and messes with how you think, how you feel, how you see everything. It's this book that just keeps pulling people in, even and maybe especially those who come to it with a healthy dose of doubt.
Okay, so first up, let's put on our literary glasses. We're going to look at the Bible as this incredible library of powerful stories. And I mean, wow, as a collection of narratives, there's just nothing else quite like it.
Just think about David and Goliath. You know the one, right? It is the ultimate underdog story. It's basically a masterclass in how to build tension, and it's this timeless tale of courage and just sheer grit in the face of impossible odds. Honestly, it's a blueprint for stories we still tell today.
Or how about Queen Esther? Her story is basically a high-stakes political thriller. It's all about risk, brilliant strategy, and finding your purpose when everything is on the line. She has to navigate this super dangerous royal court to save her people from being completely wiped out. Talk about pressure.
And you can't forget Joseph. His life story reads like some epic, multi-part novel. You've got betrayal by his own brothers, being exiled to a foreign land, and then this unbelievable, dramatic climb to a position of immense power. Seriously, even if you're just reading this for the plot, it's impossible not to get swept up in the suspense and just the sheer drama of it all. But here's what's so cool. It's not just about these epic, sprawling stories. The Bible is also just packed with some of the most profound poetry ever written. The Psalms, for instance, they cover the entire spectrum of human emotion. We're talking grief, joy, anger, hope, praise, everything. And then you have books like Ecclesiastes that are just wrestling with the meaning of life itself, asking these huge questions that still hit home thousands of years later. When you read these words, you're tapping into something incredibly raw and powerful about what it means to be human.
Okay, but here's the thing. These incredible stories, they don't just exist in some fantasy world. And that brings us to our second lens, looking at the Bible as a window into actual history. It really captures the lives of ancient people, their wins, their losses, all set against the backdrop of real-world, powerful empires.
So if you look at a timeline like this, it really helps ground the whole narrative in, real history. You see figures like Moses and King Solomon, you see major events like the Babylonian exile, and it's all happening right alongside the great powers of the ancient world. It flows right into the era of the Roman Empire, which is a huge deal. And that Roman context, oh man, it is everywhere in the New Testament. We read about a real census and real taxes under Caesar Augustus. That's the historical event that sets the stage for the Christmas story. We see Jesus on trial before a real Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. And later, the Apostle Paul is literally walking the actual streets of Rome, dealing with its people and its laws. It's so specific.
And this is where history gets, tangible. It's where you can almost touch it. Archaeology has actually confirmed details straight out of the text. Things like the Pool of Bethesda in Jerusalem. They found it. Or ancient synagogues from that exact time period. They've even found stone inscriptions with Pontius Pilate's name on them. For any reader, I don't care if you're a skeptic or not, that kind of discovery just transforms the text. It becomes a real window into a world that actually existed.
So we've got this amazing literature, and we've got this incredible window into history. But beyond all that, the Bible is also a profoundly philosophical work. It doesn't just hand you a list of rules and say, here, believe this. No, it gets its hands dirty. It wrestles with the absolute toughest questions in life. Why do people suffer? What is justice? What does it even mean to live a good life? And what's absolutely wild is just how relevant these questions still are. Take the book of Job. It's basically one long, agonizing question. Why do good people suffer? Isn't that the exact same question we ask today when we look around and wonder, why do bad things happen to good people? It's the same struggle. These ancient philosophical battles are our modern one.
And you know what's really fascinating? The Bible doesn't try to sweep doubt under the rug. Nope, it confronts it head-on. Some of its most important, most revered figures, we're talking Moses, David, John the Baptist, they openly question things. They struggle with their faith. The text is just honest. It's honest about human flaws, about fear, about confusion, And that, in and of itself, makes it a deeply, deeply relatable and human book.
And maybe that deep, honest engagement with what it means to be human is why the Bible's influences spread so incredibly far. Which brings us to our last lens for today, its absolutely undeniable cultural footprint. And believe me, this impact goes way, way beyond the walls of any church or synagogue. It has shaped the very world we all live in.
I mean, just take a look. The Bible's fingerprints are literally all over our culture. We're talking about a book that has fundamentally shaped Western art, music, and literature. Even our most basic ideas about law and ethics have been influenced by it for thousands of years.
And we're not talking about some vague general influence here. No, this is specific stuff. We're talking about some of the greatest masterpieces of all time, like Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel or Handel's Messiah. Shakespeare? His plays are absolutely dripping with biblical language and references. Core legal ideas, like the Ten Commandments, they echo in our legal systems today. And its stories are still being retold, constantly, in movies and books. You just can't escape it. It's everywhere.
So let's circle all the way back to where we started. We asked if you can read the Bible without believing. But maybe that's not even the right question. Maybe the real question is this. Can you truly understand our world, our history, our art, our deepest human questions without ever reading it at all? It's this incredible intersection where literature, history, and philosophy all crash together. It's a text that doesn't just want to be read, it invites you to explore, and it challenges your mind and your heart no matter what you believe.